Welcome to Legends in Leadership, brought to you by ISF and the Carrington Group. Legends in Leadership is an inspirational podcast featuring the stories of leaders who are making a difference. Our goal is to inspire you with the stories of leaders who come from humble beginnings, overcome challenges, and ultimately rise up to make a difference in people's lives.
Hello folks, welcome to Legends in Leadership. This is Jason Smith, your host for today's podcast. I'm a family officer with the Carrington Group, and today joined by my co-host Kyle Watkins, also a family officer with the Carrington Group. As we do every week, we want to kick off our episode today with some leadership trivia. So, Kyle, we're fascinated by the stories of leaders who come from humble beginnings and rise up to make a difference in the world. So who do you have for us today?
Yeah, so Dr. Blair sends these out, and it's a shame I can't guess today because I started his book.
You already know it?
I started the book last night, so it's pretty timely. So we have a famous leadership birthday today. Football season is in full swing. So today's legendary leader is the first black head coach to win a Super Bowl. He learned leadership from his father, who was a World War II pilot with the famed Tuskegee Airmen. He is one of three men who has won a Super Bowl as both a player and a head coach. Elected to the NFL Hall of Fame, his incredible coaching tree reflects the effectiveness of his leadership influence. Off the field, this leader championed mentoring programs for young people and supported such charitable programs such as the Boys and Girls Clubs, Big Brothers Big Sisters, Prison Crusade Ministry, fostering parenting organizations, All Pro Dad, and Family First. He remains one of the most visible and influential sports figures in America through his media career. Who is this legendary leader? I'll be back at the close of today's program to answer that.
That's a good one. Well, our guest today is Gabe Abshire, CEO of Utility Concierge. Gabe grew up in Port Arthur, Texas. The University of North Texas brought him to the Dallas Metroplex, where he graduated with a Bachelor's of Science in Business. He was also involved with the fraternity Lambda Chi Alpha. Shortly after graduation, he married his wife, and they've been blessed with a son and a daughter. In 2009, Gabe founded Utility Concierge when he saw that setting up utilities and other home services is often overlooked in the hassle of moving. Gabe's solution? A personal concierge to connect electricity, TV, security, and internet services for home buyers, so everything was on and ready when they moved in. In addition to being CEO of Utility Concierge, Gabe is also on the board of directors for the Entrepreneurs Organization Dallas chapter and has been featured in a number of magazines and awards for his innovative work in the space. So welcome to the show, Gabe.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I'm excited to be here.
Well, definitely want to cover some of the early influences that you've had in leadership and some of the key people in your life that have influenced you and made you who you are today.
Yeah, it's fun to look back on that, and it's interesting that you kind of have those people in different phases of your life or career. Early on, and this is somebody I still are in touch with today, but in college, you mentioned North Texas, I worked for Tony Hartle, who owned Planet Tan.
Oh, yeah.
So I managed one of his stores up there, and just the way that he treated his people, the way the energy he had, the passion he had for culture and sales, still sticks with me today. I mean, when I started my satellite company, I thought, why am I treating people this way? Like, it's just not normal in that industry. Like, where am I getting that from? And I looked back, and it was really from him. It was a major impact on how we treated our customers, how we treated our employees, and how we treated our vendors.
And so I guess it wasn't common in the retail industry to treat people the way that he treated them at the time in that business. So what stuck out to you as what was different?
I remember I would open on Saturday or Sunday after a rough night the night before in college, as many people do. But he would be there on the phone, or he would pop in, and it wasn't to check in, it wasn't to be sneaky. It was just to say, "Hey, man, I'm here with you. I understand what you're going through. Hey, I'm going to help you throughout the day. I'm here if you need any help," and just to motivate everybody.
Yeah. Do you think that was something that he learned or did on purpose? Do you think that's more of a personality element or combination of things that made him successful in building that culture?
He had a history in the fitness industry, and so I think it's him. I mean, he's just full of energy. He's a great guy, but I think it's definitely something he developed in his past careers for sure.
Yeah. And so you stay in touch with him today as well?
Yeah, it's crazy. I still talk to him, probably 3-4 times a year. He's down in Austin. He sold Planet Tan, and then he started some Crunch Fitness locations in Austin and Waco, and he's going to grow that like crazy, and it's going to be successful.
Yeah. you kind of see some folks, you just know whatever they get into, they're going to do it with passion, and it's going to be successful.
Yep, he's done it before, so he'll be able to do it again.
Yeah. So sounds like you were bit by the entrepreneur bug pretty early on. Has business always been a passion and interest of yours? And how did you get into your first satellite company?
Well, so you mentioned I went to college in Denton, and the funny thing about me is I don't think I've ever had a real job. I tell our start group, I spend time with them, I go, look, I've never had a real job, so I'm really happy that this is working out because I'm 100% unhireable. But yeah, I went to college and graduated. My long, illustrious career there, the last semester, like, look, man, you got to get out of here. So I took 24 hours and was loaded down, but got out. And surprisingly made the dean's list my last year.
There you go. Go out with a bang.
So maybe put your mind to something. But, waited tables, and I met a guy that had a satellite company, and he had a phone dollar back in the day, so I was his phone salesperson, and people would be, calling me 24 hours a day to buy a satellite. Like, who calls at 3 in the morning to buy a satellite? I don't understand that. But we sold satellite systems anywhere you can imagine. And unfortunately, he passed away in 2004. And, I had a choice. Do I walk away, or is there something here? Mm-hmm. And so paid off all of his debts and kind of took the company in a different direction, and we started doing satellite installs instead of sales. So instead of, hey, we're going to spend all this money and hope we can sell something, it was, let's build the machine and we'll do fulfillment for Dish Network and DirecTV, these big companies. So if I just need to find the technicians and build the machine, and they would feed us the work. Okay. And that's actually where Utility Concierge came to be. One of our major KPIs there was install rate. Mm-hmm. And so we didn't get paid, the guys didn't get paid unless the job got in. And so why is that not higher, right? And so we started digging into that, and we noticed that a lot of the times when the jobs didn't get in, it was because people were moving. They'd have their TV there but no electricity, or they'd have their electricity and no TV because the movers haven't showed up yet. So we recognized that stress point, and in 2007 I bought a home security company. And so I said, okay, well, look, let me go and sell satellite and security. Mm-hmm. I knew people in the real estate world, and it was send me your clients and we'll sell them these things. But really, in 2009, when Utility Concierge was born, it changed to send me your clients and we'll help them. We'll help them through this really stressful time, and we're going to give all the credit back to you. Okay. Right? A couple of principles we started Utility Concierge on was, we're going to be a referral-based business. We're going to go after people that already have that client and add value to that situation. So we add value to the real estate professional, it adds value to the customer moving in, it adds value to our company. And then the second thing is power of choice. We never want to tell anybody no. We want to sit in the middle as that trusted advisor. Right. You tell me what you want and I'll go find it. Mm-hmm. And then the last thing was just transparent communication. Moving's stressful. There's a lot of moving parts going on. We want to make sure that they know that we understand what they're going through, and that we're an expert and we can take that stress off their plate. Yeah.
So back in the security days and in the satellite days, you mentioned treating people differently than what they were used to be treating. I'm curious kind of what the hiring process looked like, and what was the reaction from these guys who were expecting, maybe a harsher treatment, harsher relationship with you, and how that helped build success in those industries.
Sure. In the technician world, it's very a lot of people job hop, pay increase, whatever. Mm-hmm. But we did bonuses. We fed them. Food's definitely my currency. So we would do breakfast. We would do dinners. We would do things for their family. And as a result of that, we've had people that's been working with us in that satellite business for over 10 years. Wow. And that's unheard of in that business. Absolutely. And then we've carried that along to Utility Concierge. We're creating a customer experience for our customers. So I want to make sure we create an experience for our team members, right? So everything we do is a little bit over the top, and we want to make sure we create a great experience for them.
Yeah. Yeah. So as you're carrying that culture into Utility Concierge, the company's grown very, very quickly, very successfully. How do you maintain that culture as you're no longer maybe in touch with every single hire? You walk in and maybe you see some employees that you've never met before. So how do you keep that culture alive when it's not just Gabe in charge of it?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and really for me as the visionary utility concierge, that's one of my top priorities is culture, new ideas, and big relationships. So we do a couple of things, but early on I knew that culture was going to be important because we were starting an industry, something that had never been done before, and we were asking real estate professionals to give us their customers, which is really unheard of. And so we knew that we had to find the right person. And part of that was going to be a culture fit. We couldn't have somebody that was too salesy, right? Because we earned the right to sell through our service. And we needed somebody that could understand technology and be able to really present a large amount of information. And so culture is important from the get-go. We live and die by our core values. We hire and fire by them today. But the most fun thing has been to see how it's grown and it's changed, how certain core values have changed over the years. Like one of our core values is own it. And so early on, that was literally you owned it. Like if you messed up and there was a fee, you were paying it. And if the customer didn't have their electricity on, you were paying for them to go in a hotel, or you were sending fans out, or whatever it was coming out of your pocket.
Right.
Today, it's really people owning their numbers,
Okay.
right? So knowing that they're a part of a bigger team and everyone in the company has a number and they're accountable to that and they're owning their numbers. But we instill that in our start groups early on. I spend time with them on their first day, and one of my main messages there is that culture is important. I go through the core values. It's fun to kind of tell the story of the company through the core values, and I say, look, I can't do it all, right? As we grow, one of our biggest things that we're going to focus on is making sure that we're continuing this culture going forward. And it's worked. It's been really good. It's been fun to see the culture grow, but also fun to see the culture weed out the wrong fits.
Right. In self-select, in many cases, understand that they don't belong. They're not going to perform at the level that everyone else around them is.
Yeah, we set expectations, and it's very clear if they hit them, we want them to succeed. But sometimes it's the wrong fit. We do our best to find the right people for the right seats on the bus, but sometimes it's the wrong fit, and the culture has really weeded them out. It's been fun to see the cool things we're doing. We do. It's been interesting during COVID, not to be able to be face to face, but our teams come together and we've sent care packages out. We've sent gift cards out. We've still done our shirts every quarter. We've done quarterly kickoffs via Zoom. We've had 3-4 start groups now. We've hired about 40 people during COVID that we've trained virtually.
Oh, wow.
And so it's been, and that's all part. That's when we switched over to work from home, we had 0 people issues. We had a few technology issues we had to work out, but we had 0 people issues, and that's a testament to our culture and our process, right? Absolutely. Our culture got it, they understood it, and they wanted to work hard. They were super appreciative for the opportunity.
Yeah.
As the visionary and being in charge of the culture and what you see and what you want this to be, because it's a reflection of you, how is it that you're able to keep yourself continuing to evolve and grow? What are some things that you do personally that keep yourself where you feel fresh?
That's a good question. EO is a big part of my life. So you mentioned I was on the board. I actually stepped off this past June, but I was on the board for 2 years this past term, and I was the learning chair, and so that right there just kind of put me in front of a lot of people, a lot of new, fresh ideas, and just kind of that circle of people in EO. It's great. There's tons of experience here. I love to read, love to constantly be learning things, and we have a culture committee, and I got this from my friend Calvin Carter, and kind of went and talked to the person that leads this culture at Bottle Rocket, and so we put this culture committee together, and I'm on it, but I'm not there every week. I've got to give them some freedom to do some cool things, but the point of that is that everybody on that culture committee represents the company, right? So they're going back and they have people that they, group of people they communicate with, and so when we need ideas, when we want fresh things, it can't be what comes from me, because what I like may not be what the 100+ people like, and so that's been really good to be able to see the culture grow, and I feed them ideas and they run with it.
Yeah. So what does the future look like for Utility Concierge as you've grown and scaled to this point? Clearly you're not done. Still very energetic and passionate about the business. So what does the next 10 years look like?
The future is very, very bright. I spend time with the new hires that come in, and I tell them every time it's the best time to be joining the company, and it's not a lie, because we just keep getting better and better. Yeah. And so the future is going to be Very interesting. We started Utility Concierge 10 years ago and really revolutionized the way that people set up their home service and utilities, and we're going to do that again about 10 years later. We're soon going to be launching a technology that's going to allow somebody to do everything that we do on the phone in a world-class manner for them to be able to do that online.
Okay.
So we've taken our process and really put it online and built some technology around it. And I think the interesting thing about that is most technology companies start out as a technology company. We're very much a people company, a service company, and we're going to layer technology on top of that to make it even more efficient for the customer. Because, look, some people don't want to talk on the phone, right? And so what now takes about 30 minutes with a concierge will take about 5 minutes online. And if they want to speak with a world-class concierge, they'll be waiting there for them at a push of a button. So we're really excited about that.
It's interesting to see as people have in the past wanted that service, they've wanted that person to walk along with them, and now folks are more in a self-service mindset, just let me get this done. Has that been driven more so from a younger demographic owning homes? Do you think it's been an overall shift in people's comfort with technology and meeting them where they are?
I think so. It's really what you just said, the meeting them where they are. Some people, look, it's a complicated deal. We're talking about 8 different services. And so it's like insurance. There's a lot of online insurance, but most insurance is done via phone or with an insurance agent. And so we just want to be able to meet them where they are, and it'll help us scale. It'll give better quality customers to the concierge when they opt in. But some people are just going to want to go on, and they know what they want. They can click, and we're going to handle all those connections on the back end. So it's a little bit of both, making us more efficient and then really meeting the people where they want to be met.
Yeah. And you mentioned working basically through real estate agents, and I'm curious, was that, as you set out to work with real estate agents, basically selling through someone else, I'm just kind of curious about some of the more memorable reactions you might have gotten along the way to bringing a new idea to a very established way of doing business.
Yes. Working with real estate professionals has been very interesting and rewarding. It's a definitely, we made the decision, it just didn't make sense to me to go out and find people that someone else already had a really great relationship with. And so definitely it was hard earning trust early on, and that's part of our culture now, is that early on when we would go and get, say, a Keller Williams shop, it was, one of our core values is mind-blowing customer experience. And what that means to me is that the customer at the end of their interaction with us, they have zero choice but to talk about us to the realtors, to their friends, to their family, online, on our reviews, and that's really worked. And the reason is because if someone goes back and doesn't talk great about us, then that is going to spread like wildfire through that brokerage, and people aren't going to use us. And so that was very, very, very important early on, and I think honestly that's what's helped us continue our growth, is because we've never lost that passion.
Absolutely, and it's got to be a testament to you delivering on those core values, because I think we all know just the number of people that want to get in front of real estate agents, and try to be a part of that home buying and selling process. You rarely get a second chance.
You don't, and it's such a huge value add for agents, because in this day and age, agents are expected to do so much more than they, in my opinion, should be asked to do. And so setting up utilities and providing things for that really isn't in their lane. And if they give a piece of paper, you're telling somebody to go and do more work. So now they can refer us, and they can just simply say, you know what, my concierge is going to be reaching out to you to take care of all your utility connections, and it makes them look like a rock star.
Yeah, as the evolution goes to maybe more online, how is it, and you've got this vision of where you're going to go, and this is the most exciting time to join your company. How is it that you maybe stay grounded, or be where your feet are, and not get way out in your skis, and you're 5 years from here? How can you still remain today and stay involved in what's going on right now, not too far into the future?
I think that's a testament to my team. They keep me grounded, grounded pretty good, and that's great, because most people don't have a team that can say no, or this is not the right time, or hey, we set this goal and I get it. I mean, I had a really aha moment with them a couple years ago, and I'm third quarter planning, and we're talking, and I'm like, what about this? What about this? And they were like, look, our singular focus is to hit this goal this year, right? I understand that that's going to come. And the challenge with what you talked about is that I don't see an ROI on my unique ability for 6, 12, 18 months. And so that's the tough part about being in that role, is just really having patience to be able to see it to come fruition. Because we're doing things right now. I mean, we've been talking about this virtual concierge thing for 4 years, but we had to get things set up and the right processes in place to be able to do this. And when we layer this on, then we're going to have really some really exponential growth.
Yeah. I'm curious how you see technology affecting the broader real estate market. You've got situations where, in some cases, people are being encouraged to sell their homes without a real estate agent involved, whereas the for sale by owner used to be maybe a small slice of the overall pie. Some technology firms and some just new ways of doing business are coming into the fold. Just curious about your thoughts on the home real estate market in general and where you see that going.
Yeah, I think technology is going to play a big part in real estate in the next 3 to 5 years. I don't think the agent's going away. Right. Just like the wonderful world of media that we live in today, a lot of these technology companies are making up a small piece of the percentage that people deal with. People, you need to have a real estate agent. You need to have a representative, someone to represent you on both sides. Right. And so they're doing the real estate agents are doing some great things that add value. We're one of those. But technology is going to change the industry. But I think the really good teams and the really good agents are going to make it, and they're going to thrive.
And it has been interesting to see some of the teams the concept of a real estate team, I think, has evolved in the last 5 to 7 years, where it's not so much a lot of individual real estate agents trying to do it all, but partnering with other people, taking more of a specialty, and then coming to the market as a service group, rather than a one man or one woman show. Absolutely.
The real estate, being a realtor is probably the ultimate in being an entrepreneur if you're just a single realtor, because you have to do 15 different roles, right? And the agents that are able to ascend to that team level and understand that team level, they're just able to do so much more production. And the biggest thing for me is that I love about that is that they're able to focus on their unique ability, right? If you're a buyer's agent, then you can be a buyer's agent. You don't have to be a seller's agent, right? If you're good at lead gen, but not really good in front of a customer, great. You have a team to help you with that. So you really have a group of people that's focused on what they're really great at.
And my long-term real estate agent is with the Davis team with Keller Williams in Arlington. And one of her aha moments, she said, was realizing that she could actually be more successful by focusing on less. So, being the buyer's agent, and that sort of that gut check of turning over a sale lead, to the team. She said once she got over that hump, it just really opened up for her.
Yeah, Gary Keller is amazing. I mean, Keller Williams is an education company, and he wrote a book a while back. What's the one thing? Yeah, great book. What's the one thing that can change your life? And it's just all about being focused on one thing that's going to change many areas of your life. And it's another way of saying unique ability, right? I mean, there's things that give us energy, and there's things that suck energy out of us. Well, if they suck energy out, that means you suck at it. So let somebody else do it that they're great at. Turn it over. Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's been a fantastic conversation. Appreciate your insights on leadership and culture. I'm curious, where can people find out more about Utility Concierge, connect with your company, and experience the benefits you've told us about?
Yeah, so we help people that are moving also. So we're primarily work with real estate professionals, but if you're moving and you need some help with that, you can find us at utilityconcierge.com. But then also, if you've been in your house for about over 2 years, it's probably a good idea to give us a call. We have a product called Utility Checkup.
Okay.
And so we know the whole market, and so we can very quickly, you tell me what you have for your electricity, TV, internet, and phone security, and we can very quickly tell you if we can save you some money. And some people do that on their own, but it's much easier just to have a quick phone call.
Sure.
And we save people an average of on the Utility Checkup probably $500 to $700 a year just with a quick 30-minute phone call.
Okay. Utility checkup at utilityconcierge.com.
That's it.
Awesome. I appreciate you taking some time out of your schedule to visit with us today.
Man, I had a
fun.
great time. I love being here. Thanks
Yeah.
for it.
All right, absolutely.
So we'll turn it back over to Kyle, see if we can get a summary and maybe if you have a guess.
Oof.
Yeah.
Not a big sports fan. but
First African American coach to win a Super Bowl.
As a player and
Well, yes, first black coach, but
Right.
he also won with the Steelers in the 70s.
Oh, he won.
He was a
not-
player with the
was he
Steelers.
Not a coach.
He was a coach with the
Buccaneers?
Colts. He was with the Bucks.
but he won with the Colts.
Oh God, I can
Dungy.
see his. I
Yeah,
can
Tony
see his-
Dungy.
Tony Dungy.
Yes,
So-
Tony Dungy.
Which is wild that so he beat Lovie Smith in the Super Bowl, who was on his staff previously. But go back to the Tuskegee experiment. His dad was involved in that. He didn't know until his dad's funeral that he was involved in Tuskegee's experiment. His dad just told him, "I was
Wow.
in the service, and we, African Americans, we had to teach ourselves to fly."
Oh my
and
gosh.
just never put two and two
Oh,
together.
wow.
But he didn't know his dad was in Tuskegee. So
Wow.
pretty interesting.
So you're reading his book right now? You sure
Yeah,
about
2
service?
chapters
So
in.
What's it called?
Quiet Strength.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
there's a book recommendation from Legends in Leadership. Well, folks, it's been a pleasure having Gabe Abshire with us, CEO of Utility Concierge. And want to remind you of this, folks. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you are a leader.
Legends in Leadership is brought to you by the Carrington Group. Carrington Group is a family office with a passion for helping business leaders and their families make smart choices and fulfill their highest aspirations. To learn more about the Carrington Group, visit their website at www.carringtonfo.com or Google Carrington Group Dallas, Texas. ISF is committed to leadership development for aged-out foster care and orphaned youth. ISF's mission is to transform these youth into tomorrow's leaders with scholarships, mentoring, and leadership training. To learn more about ISF, visit their website at isfsite.org or Google International Student Foundation to learn more.
Securities offered through Regulus Advisors, LLC, member FINRA/SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Regal Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Regulus Advisors and Regal Investment Advisors are affiliated entities. Carrington Group and this broadcast are independent of Regulus Advisors and Regal Investment Advisors.